since he was awake, I decided to drag him in a video. He's not too happy about this. Right, Chip? So, I just noticed the camera. Sometimes I actually think about putting something in my chair so I can have something to focus the camera on. Sometimes I just look through it until it looks right, and now I can see that my dolls are probably lovely in the center in front of the camera, but I'm a little far to the edge. But that's okay. Anyway, you know I got those 2 wonderful boxes from Cosmo and Tiffy that I did the box opening videos last week, and I will show you what I've done with dolls from them and with things from them and with inspiration from them. But also declared in one of the videos that I'm going to start another attempted 3 months of no doll buying after the doll show this Saturday. So that meant that I went to several stores today instead of just a usual thrift store. There were no dolls. It's not just there were no dolls to buy, there were no dolls. Okay, there was one interactive Dora the Explorer. There were no dolls. I almost walked out of the second store with nothing, but I decided to look at the cloth, even though I don't need cloth. And I found, it was obviously a project someone had done. They started selling fleece to a novelty fabric. And then either they abandoned it, or it wasn't what they wanted, or whatever. But I've already taken the fleece and the fabric apart. So now I have a whole bunch of this stuff. You know, this is the 2-way. It's iridescent on one side and holographic on the other. It's 2 yards long. It's only 26 inches wide. So obviously whoever, of course, you know I make up stories about everything I buy. I'm guessing that maybe people went in together to buy the 2 yards of this, and then they split up long ways between them. And then for whatever reason it got sewn to some fleece that had likewise been split in half lengthwise, 2 yards. Because this stuff is at Joann, the regular price is $30 a yard. Now a lot of times you can use coupon and get it down to be about $20 a yard, but still. So now I have the equivalent of a yard of it to play with, which I actually went into a Target today too. And, well, doll-wise, I had a Kirby Made to Move dancer in my hand, but really, I want to find a Kirby Made to Move yoga because I have a head that's in that skin tone that I really want to put on an articulated Kirby body. So, eventually, I'm sure I'll either get one or the head will just stay in the box forever. Like I always say, dolls are patient. So anyway, I had also been looking in Target at they have little backpacks, just, you know, for kids, little mini backpacks. And since, yes, I was around in the 90s, I used to carry a mini backpack for my purse. So I was thinking I could use one of those mini backpacks for the purse, and I was looking at the ones with 2-way sequins. I thought, well, I can make that. Well, I can't make it because the 2-way sequins are expensive. But other than that, I can make it. But I still didn't buy it. And then not the next store, 2 stores later, I go in and I find this. So that was my big find for the day. And then everything else in this video is going to be what I've done with the things I got from and inspired by and just from the boxes that Cosmo and Tiffy sent. Thanks again. And there are sequins everywhere. Okay, so first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to take the kitty print romper that Cosmo made and put it on this made to move Kirby body with a Mycene head that Tiffy did the face up on. And she's wearing just a Kemper wig. So I initially had her in just the romper, but I wanted to overload the details. So here she is. I have her pose like this just to remind me. This is an old pair of Barbie tights from like around the turn of the century, around 2000. And it's actually, it was always way too big for Barbies. And there's a run in it, and like the back seam had come apart, so you have to strategically disguise the flaws for photos. So I haven't taken photos yet. I just have her like this to remind me when I take the photo that I'll either need to do that or I'll probably have to touch it up. I'd rather not have to touch up, so I'll probably post her like that. Anyway, so Tiffy did her face up. And of course in the box that Tiffy had sent was that Sunshine Family mom doll that Tiffy had enhanced the face up and done the face up on. And she actually painted the back of the eye chips too to give them more depth. And Sunshine Family lady bodies are actually about the same size as Monster High torsos, believe it or not. Especially the way I sew stuff for Monster High. I never liked the skinniness of Monster High, so I always, whenever I'd sew stuff for them, it'd usually be not super fitted. So there's plenty of room in a Monster High dress I made to put on this technically Star Spangled doll, but the Sunshine Family mom that Tiffy did the face up and rerooted. You know, I said I thought that this was the Southern Belle one who had wire in her hair for quick curl. But I think the story was that Tiffy just got sick of it and removed it all and rerooted her with Ever After High hair. So I thought the hair was a little nice for a 1970s doll, but I wasn't sure. And Tiffy confirmed. So here she is with her adorable face and a Monster High outfit I made, including some bloomers. Her shoes match in color. They match the red on the dress. These are the original Sunshine Family mom sandals. They don't match stylistically with the whole outfit, but say if I ever take a picture of her, she'll probably be out standing in grass and you'll be able to see her feet anyway, until I can find better shoes for her. I did really think about putting this head on a different body, but I think, like I said in the unboxing video, this is one of the nicest of these bodies I've had. A lot of them have melt marks and the knees are breaking and they're just, or they're too floppy. But she's going to stay on this body for a while. And since I had these two Tiffy face-ups out, I went ahead and redressed another doll I had with a Tiffy face-up. So this is a 1987 Skipper sculpt. My crackpot theory about the 1987 Skipper sculpt is that's about the time that Mattel and Takara parted ways. You know, there used to be Takara Barbie, which turned into what we know as Jenny, Takara Jenny. And my theory was that Mattel was trying to sculpt their own anime style face, Japanese style doll face, and that ended up this, and they decided that they were just going to sell regular Barbie in Japan instead of a Japanese specific Barbie. And then they turned this face into Skipper. I'm sure that's not the least bit true, but it amuses me to think that's how it went. So I was joking around about how much I'd love to see the Skipper face done anime style. So Tiffy surprised me with this. And she is on a Star Darlings body that I ground down a whole bunch of the neck to get the Skipper head on. I have not done the surgery on her hips so she can sit properly yet. The Star Darlings bodies have a big problem with that. And another thing with the Star Darlings bodies is their feet. They have the big high heel feet that so many fashion dolls have. And I was having huge problems finding shoes for them. But then I sat down and really looked. And I ended up, because they're dolls, they don't care, cutting off a couple toes on each foot. So now she can wear, to some extent, Barbie shoes. And because she's a kid, I wanted her to wear lower heels, so that's why I put her in these hiker boots that I painted. So I need to get pictures of all of these separately and together. My Tiffy dolls. The other doll she'd sent that she'd done work on the face was this one. I haven't done anything with her yet. I have plans for her. I'm not sure if it will work or not, but I have cat hair in my nose. That's a problem with picking Chip up, is he's super sheddy. So my idea for what I want to do with this, I'm not sure if it'll work. I'm thinking of, whenever I get around to trying it, I might document it on video, but I'm not sure because it's going to require me finally figuring out how to get the camera set up so we can record my dremeling work downstairs. But that's something for the future. So, when I was digging around in my big box of random dolls. So I was reaching in this box for another doll, and I accidentally pulled off the wig that I'd put on a doll that John had done the face for. So I pulled the whole doll out, I re-glued his wig on, and I realized, hey, he can wear one of the shirts that Cosmo made. So these are, I mean, I was lazy, I did not change his pants at all. I think I have a pair of jeans that should fit this body, but I went ahead and left him in the camo pants I'd made for him. He had just been wearing a hoodie with it. So this is a face-up John did probably 10 years ago, if not longer. He thinks he's moved on. I think his style has just changed. I think this is still a great face. And then one of the shirts that Cosmo made. I tucked it in because this is a Disney Descendants guy body. So it's a little smaller than a regular Ken body, so the shirt came to like about here on its own. And I thought it looked nice tucked in. And when I went to pull him, I accidentally pulled his wig off, and when I actually reached in to pull him out, I accidentally pulled out another doll. This is a Sonic Kong Mimi. So I went ahead and dressed her to just quickly in a jumpsuit that I shared the pattern for, and kind of joke, I'm sorry, there's a cat hair stuck to her. That's floof. And just quickly into DC Superhero Girl shoes. So I thought they looked pretty good together. And then I wanted to get another doll into another shirt that CosmoMoore made. And there was a, it's just this standard fashionista's head that I put on a made-to-move body. But I got this head specifically from one of the local doll people who just loves Star Wars. So I thought it was only natural that I put this doll in the Star Wars shirt. This person is also a jewelry maker, the Star Wars person, doll person. So she also actually made, can you see, an actual French hook earring, piercing the doll's properly and not jabbing, piercing the doll's ear properly, not jabbing it back into her head. So here she is in the Star Wars shirt that Cosmo made. I did roll the sleeves up a little, and I know the back is just open, so I know technically it shouldn't be this boxy, but I like to pull it out so it makes it look super boxy. So then the big head swappy stuff happened. Cosmo sent the, I do know Cosmo's real name, I'm just not sure if he's comfortable with me using it online. So he sent that curvy body that he'd put the Wonder Woman arms and legs on, elbows down and knees down, that had the Wonder Woman head on it that he'd made a little gothy. So I wanted to put a different head on the curvy body, so I put the Wonder Woman head on this Liv body. And I know this is not super duper ultra gothy, I was just trying to use stuff I already had, although I did take about 1 inch of lace for each side, wrap it around her wrists, and sew on to make little fingerless gloves. Which very likely will stain her hand, I'm not sure. I have not color tested this lace to be color fast. So it may possibly stain her hands. On the other hand, as long as this head is on this body, she's probably going to be wearing these little lacy fingerless gloves. So then the body that Cosmo sent, I put into the spiderweb dress he made, and I gave Spring into Styles' head because she was my first curvy, and she's kind of, I won't say my absolute favorite, but I have a soft spot for her. Even though I did change her paint a little so she's side glance and has pearly lips and some blush. And she is still a glue head. I still haven't done anything about that. But here she is on the body Cosmo altered. He did a good job cutting out the arms on the original body and then drilling them out so we could add the Wonder Woman forearms. Same with the legs. You can see the diameters weren't quite the same in back. And as we all do when we use the Dremel, he obviously had the Dremel skip. You know, you're grinding and grinding and grinding, and then you just move just a little bit and suddenly the Dremel is skipping across parts you had no intention to grind. So I got into my precious stash of Dr. Ken bandages from the early 90s, and I covered up the Dremel skip on her knee there. That's another way you know I like a doll, if I give her one of my precious stash of Dr. Ken stickers. Because I bought 2 Dr. Ken dolls in the early 90s, and one of them came with 2 pages of stickers. So that's probably how I managed to make them last 25 years. Anyway, so there she is, and you know, I think they might be friends. And that's the video for this week. I've been sewing stuff for the kiddo. I finished a Shrek shirt, and I started a pair of shorts that I've got about halfway finished with. He said the doll show is this weekend. I'm still not sure if I'm brave enough to take the camera with me, unless I don't have a smartphone, so I can't record that way like a normal person would. So I don't know if I'll have footage from the doll show, and if it's like last year, the doll show will be interesting, but we'll find more stuff when we go to the thrift stores afterwards. We'll see. But at least it's not supposed to be pouring down rain this year like it was last year. Oh, that's the other amusing thing. When I got, last year I managed to thrift like a little tiny square of this, which I was thrilled at getting. And that was after the doll show. So, about a year later, I found some more. But, you know, humans are all about finding patterns, and we can find patterns and stuff where there is no pattern. And I am babbling now, aren't I? Because I don't know how long this video is, but I'll stop it now. I will see you next week.